Hello, my name is Ben.
And my name's Josh.
And welcome back to FPL Graduates, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be going through the transfer targets for game week 30. Wow, off the back of a big double game week, let's get straight into those guys that we're targeting for the next game week.
So our first pick this week is none other than General John Stones, 5.4 million. Obviously playing in like central defensive midfield. Obviously with Pep Guardiola's formation, his tactics. We're seeing a lot more fullbacks go into midfield. I thought he played really well against Liverpool. What was your thoughts on him, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, he's the best City defender in terms of guaranteed minutes when he's fit, because he's the most crucial Man City defender, in my opinion. And yeah, 5.4 million. I mean, as well as that, a lot of these transfers are going to be focused and centralized around the game week 32 free hit. So it's just worth bearing that in mind. Both myself and Josh have the free hit left and are kind of planning to do that for 32. So a lot of these transfer targets might be based around that. So John Stones is one of those guys that I think lends very, very nicely to a strategy like that. Southampton away, Leicester at home. I mean, they're two very, very nice fixtures. Leicester can't really hit a barn door at the moment. And Southampton, well, they're just Southampton right now, aren't they, Josh?
Yeah, exactly. I like the pun with the Leicester with the Barnes door. Like I saw what you did there. But yeah, one thing with City this season though, compared to years gone by, is that they have leaked more goals than seasons gone by as well. They seem to be conceding that odd goal. We saw it against Liverpool, for example. They totally dominated that game. One counter attack and Mo Salah had a goal. So that's one thing that might put me off is that they are leaking goals, and most of the defenders are 6-point ceilings unless they get bonus and stuff like that, which is highly unlikely given the amount of goals that Man City score. Obviously, before we've had the likes of Cancelo, who's got loads of attacking returns as well as the clean sheets, which makes it way more appealing. So that's one little caveat, I think, to these City defenders that you can go off.
So next up, we have got a very differential player for you guys. We have got Alex Moreno of Aston Villa. 4.4 million for a potential Aston Villa starter at left back. The fixtures they got is very, very spicy, and he could be an insane differential for game week 30 and game week 33 in particular. Those fixtures are looking very, very good. Josh, what are the thoughts behind Alex Moreno? How is he looking as an Aston Villa asset this week?
So he's become first choice since coming in January under Unai Emery. I think the Aston Villa defence, Aston Villa in general have gone under the radar, and especially their defence as well. The defence have kept 4 clean sheets in their last 6 games, which is decent numbers for a defence that we probably wouldn't look to traditionally. And then you've got Forest at home this week, Newcastle at home as well. Newcastle are playing quite well at the moment, but Brentford away again, a team that either scores a lot of goals or doesn't score a lot. So I think this Villa defence is strong enough to keep out these sort of mid-table-ish teams. And we've seen that quite a lot. Tyrone Mings has been in my team personally the last couple of weeks, and he's been bagging me double-digit hauls. Got 10 points in the double game week. So I think if you're looking for a cheap defender that you need to play in game week 32, say if you don't have a free hit, I think Aston Villa are the team to go for. Okay, so next up it is REECE James from Chelsea. Obviously, Frank Lampard has come in as their caretaker boss. It'd be interesting to see what formation he goes with. Traditionally, he's set up in that 4-2-3-1. Personally, for me, I think that makes Ben Chilwell and REECE James much worse assets as they can't get forward as much. What's your thoughts on him, Ben, since obviously the new manager takeover and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, Lampard is going to come in as a caretaker manager. I think a lot of what he's going to work towards is going to be similar formation and a similar style to whatever manager that they're going to bring in. There's going to be a philosophy that Todd Bowley wants to bring in, and no matter what, REECE James is going to be crucial to that. 5.8 million is good value. I think there's better value in another particular fullback at Chelsea, who's just showing a little bit more form and a little bit more sort of attacking creativity and a lot of touches in the opposition box in Ben Chilwell. But if you are looking to potentially double up, I think REECE James and Ben Chilwell as a double up in defence in the Chelsea assets is the best way to go. Obviously, Wolves away is a fixture where you'd like to think that Chelsea can keep a clean sheet. And yeah, I mean, historically this season he's not been great, but over the last few seasons we know how good Reece James can be. At 5.8 million, if you can get the returns, it'll be unbelievable. Okay, so next up we have got EBERECHI Eze, and I mean, if we're going to be honest, any of those Palace midfielders that are currently fit and available, you're going to be looking at right now with those fixtures. Wow, they look unbelievable. Obviously, Palace have just come off a really, really tough run. They've just got their first win of 2023. And now I think the Crystal Palace cheap assets in midfield are definitely on the table for FPL managers, including this man, Eze. What more can be said, Josh? Like, look at those fixtures. Leeds away, Southampton away, Everton home, Wolves away, West Ham at home. It's all bottom half teams. It's all teams scrapping in the relegation battle that are going to be open on the counter-attack to players like Eze.
Yeah, it's just going to be picking the right one, I think, out of that Palace attack. It's really difficult in the best of times to decide who even is starting, really, in that Palace team. Eze's got quite an upper hand, similar to Elise. Both of them do take set pieces, which is really good. I don't know the latest fitness on Zaha, but, he's been in and out of the squad recently with injuries, so that's not too ideal. There's also, Mateta, Edouard. They're also really cheap options up top, but the forward spots are quite, sought after at the moment, with so many of the other forwards being in form as well. So yeah, like you said, I think these 5.5 million midfielders, whether that be Eze, Elise, one of those guys, I think could provide great value with that fixture run. Up next, it is a Manchester City asset. They're coming back on the transfer targets list now. They've, gone past the doubles. It's Jack Grealish, played phenomenal against Liverpool, was definitely the man of the match. I got a goal and assist against them, 2 bonus points as well. One thing to note, Southampton and Leicester are 2 poor defensive sides, and they've I've lost it. I don't even know what they. Leicester and Southampton have conceded the most chances down their left-hand side. How hard's that to say? Right. Let's go again. Okay, so up next, it is Jack Grealish. He had a really good game against Liverpool last week, got a goal and an assist, 2 bonus points. Really, really good performance. He is now 6.9 million. He's had a price rise since the graphics were made. Southampton and Leicester are up next, and in recent times, they've conceded their most chances down the left-hand side. So a lot of people are looking towards Jack Grealish because of this. Everyone's probably going to have Haaland, so they're looking for a bit of a differential. What's your thoughts on him, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, 6.8 million is an absolute bargain for Jack Grealish right now. He is going to be starting in that City lineup. The left side is his at the moment to lose. And Southampton away, Leicester at home, great fixtures. The only thing would be potentially the Champions League rotation. But at the moment, Pep seems to be favouring Grealish for those fixtures in the Premier League. He seems to be very well suited to that compared to the Champions League. So I'd expect Grealish to start both in Game Week 30 and in Game Week 31. So in terms of transferring in, I think it's very sensible. Grealish, yeah, I'd definitely go for him. Okay, so next up, we're going to go for a transfer target that within Game Week 4 or 5, we never thought he'd be a transfer target again, because realistically, everyone's going to have him in the teams. But there is a decision to make with a lot of FPL managers, bringing in Erling Haaland. A lot of players with Ivan Toney, who's 1 yellow card away from suspension, and Haaland's back. And could he play against Southampton? I think he could. And with, 30 minutes in the bank, he could score a haul. Josh, what are your thoughts on Erling Haaland? Does he haul inside half an hour against the Southampton team?
I think that's the thing. I think everyone knows that he can definitely do that. And that is why he's still so sought after, even though he's only coming back from injury. They've got tough Champions League games on the horizon. What makes it even more difficult is that Julian Alvarez played phenomenal. He's played phenomenal every single time he's played, to be fair, but he's played even better now. So it seems like they don't need to risk him realistically because they've got such a great replacement. But Pep, every time Haaland has been fit, has started him pretty much. So it's really difficult to tell at the moment. I'm sure we'll learn more in the press conferences, hopefully. I know Guardiola doesn't give too much away, but hopefully we'll hear a little bit more, maybe an update. He's been back in team training, so that could be something to look at. But for someone like me, I've got the perfect amount of money to go from Toney to Haaland, but then there's so many options up front right now, as I alluded to earlier, like Ollie Watkins. Toney's still a great option, even though he's one yellow away from suspension. and other guys as well. Who do you go for? Do you take the risk and Haaland could come away with a 1-pointer this week, or do you take the risk he could score 3 goals? That is the tale. I don't know what you're doing, Ben. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this week is going to be, in my opinion, the 1 week for the rest of the season that Haaland's going to be a differential. I mean, we could easily see him play sort of 60 minutes against Southampton and Leicester, but there's also a chance that he could play 30 minutes, not really do too much, and get 1-point hauls in game week 30 and 31. Like there's both sides of the argument. He could get loads of points, he could get no points in the next 2 game weeks. It's very much a 50-50 chance, but with the talent that Haaland has, you can tilt that maybe in the favour of Haaland actually getting those big points and those big bonuses over the fact that, he's one of those players that can haul in 30 minutes. And that's the key, really. Okay, so that rounds up our transfer targets for game week 30. Some interesting picks in there, some differentials, as well as some template moves as well. Let us know what you're going to be doing this week with your fantasy Premier League team. And let us know if we've missed any players that you think, hang on, that's my transfer target this week.
Yeah, make sure you check us out on all socials as well. We'll be giving you live updates from the pressers on Friday on Instagram and Twitter, so make sure you follow us over there.
And as usual, please remember to like, follow, and subscribe. I've been Ben.
I've been Josh.
And we'll see you guys
later. Have a good game week, everyone. McElroy still on evens, 10 holes in.
I can't believe you back McElroy. Oh, wait. Hang on. Rose has pulled it back. He was 1 over. He was 1 over when I left it, and he birdied and eagled the next 2.